Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 11th of June. So yesterday the ECB managed to do what the ECB are so good at doing, is basically saying nothing. And they said nothing so well that the markets didn't know really which way to go. US inflation came out higher than expected by many, although there were some prints of 5% expected. However, as said before, whatever was to come out of that 1:30 bit of news would go the other way, and sure enough, after a short while the markets returned. So we've seen this horrible whippy price action through the markets. The euro clung on to the fact that, well, okay, there's no change and didn't make a great deal of difference either way. The news came out, it spun it one way, it went the other way, and goodness, where to today then? Well, let's just come out into the dailies for a moment. You can see the last 2 days. Basically, it's a coin toss. In reality, there are a couple of key levels that we should be probably watching out for. There's a trend line here, and there's a trend line sitting across the lows there, and there'll be a lot of people pinning their thoughts on the continuation, or with the lower highs, lower lows, is it going to go to the continuation to the downside? Real toss of the coin, as I said. There's arguments for both. You come out to the weeklies and you'll say, well, it's still in this upper rising trend, although it's got some ugly bars next to it last few weeks. And come to the dailies, it's showing the cracks still. Come down to the 4 hourlies, and it's a pure mess at this stage, which could just see it's range trading. There is absolutely no news today to drive it one way or the other. So we're left in 3 p.m. We've got the University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming out at 3 o'clock rather, and that's it. So we're left to the technical devices, and of course we've got the Fed meeting next week. So we've got our next excuse lined up to why the markets are going to be a bit quiet over the next few days. Let's get ready. So coming out to the pound then. Is range bound. I often stop looking at the Aussie, and I take a look at the dailies and think, it's just not worth looking at. And the pound is almost similar. However, come down and look at it and you think, well, if it starts breaking down, perhaps I'll eventually have a go at this. Although a few people have done that previously, look, and well, probably got, I don't know whether they actually got stopped out or whether they're still sitting in an uncomfortable position with the stops over the highs here. Whatever way, it's still, to me, has a potential of the break to the upside, and well, maybe we'll see that happen. But of course, we've got some hurdles, internal politics, etc., to get over. We've got Monday coming up, where we'll know whether the UK's released completely and allowed to go back to business as normal, or business or nearly normal, or whatever else. There's all sorts of things coming out, hitting the press at the moment. And of course we've got the Northern Ireland ECB, not ECB, European government, and Brussels to deal with. Anyway, for now though, the pound is a difficult one to work out which way is it going. It may be an easier buy at the bottom than a sell at the top. At some stages, as I said, I think it might just break out there. But well, 2 weeks to go, and we'll have the Bank of England saying lot of nothing. Well, actually, probably not. They're being a bit more open. Okay. Morning, guys, just joining us. Looking at the dollar yen then. Yesterday strengthened up eventually. It was a game of two halves for sure, pushing up earlier on through into midday, and then for the first part, and then selling later on. So it's a breakdown of beyond that 200 may look attractive. It will give us lower highs, confirm lower highs as it's breaking through that sort of area, may be sort of attractive. But the thing that's not attractive is the intraday movements on this. So I'm sort of leaving it alone from that basis. What I'm going to say on the Aussie dollar? Well, it's pretty much the same as I've been saying for the last few weeks. It's pretty much, from a day trading point of view, not particularly interesting. The only thing is, and it may be just wishful thinking here. Are we going to see a break of the monthly pivot? Is it going to push out there at some point, or are we going to just see another rollover, or just maybe a pop and drop? This is the problem, and probably why I'll be sitting away from the Aussie dollar. Canadian dollar still sitting in there, hopeful Kim, it seems. The thing is, it's done neither. It's not pushed any lower, it's not pushed any higher, and it's sat there. It's sat through the Bank of Canada. It's sat through the ECB, the data coming out in the US. It looked promising again at one stage when that happened, but well, it's doodling, I think is the technical term. Well, the term I just put on it. It's very choppy. So there we are. So most majors there, all the majors I've looked at there, have you have to sit on the old patient seat, and then there might be settings that come up and trigger at some point, but you've just got to be waiting on days like this, and it may be that as a day trader you just you say, well, okay, I'm not going to be trading for a little while on this. I'll wait until things get into a better shape. The desire to be in a trade can really damage your account sometimes. So patience now. Let's have a look at a couple of cross pairs. Euro yen went marching off at one stage in the earlier part of the morning there, well, late part of the morning into the midday there, but then gave it all back. We really have seen difficult looking days and hours on it. I'm quite interested to see which way it breaks at the moment. This is a bearish engulfing bar, an outside bar. A break of the low there might just give something back to the downside. So there's something sitting potentially from my day trading today on the euro yen. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's it. But I won't be looking for anything too fancy from this in terms of from a break of the lows of this, and I would rather take it on the low side. If it breaks on the low side here, I'm really just looking back to the recent lows here. I don't think I'm not looking to the moon and back for any of these trades at the moment. It's too risky. The market's just literally chopping for a lot of the time, so we just got to get into chop mode in our brains. Right, okay, that's pretty much there. S&P's of course made a new high yesterday. Why wouldn't they? There we go, new high, bullish engulfing bar, so key reversal bars, well, continuation bar in this case, but look, it's still looking pretty bullish there. How the Feds can get away with the higher inflation rate. Look, it's got to hit home at some stage, and it may just hit harder when it does, but for now, let's not fight it. You could just allow it to happen, let it roll over and continue in the way, whatever way it's going to go. Very gappy overnight there, but unless my data's gone a bit wild, but it's unusual for the corrections there, but quite a wild old market there. Okay, gold. You know what I'm coming up to. There's not a lot here, is there? Gold actually looks more positive, but this could just shape up to fail. We put a high in, we've pulled back, we're putting it looking like we're going to put another high in maybe. It'll be interesting. Well, actually we did put this high here and it pulled back. Is this the one that just breaks through the top there and rolls over? We'll see. But for now it's looking marginally bullish, but the momentum certainly coming out in the last 12 hours on that, but that might pick up again this morning. So gold may just be the savior there. Side of that, oil now again. So about yesterday we might push up. Well, it did push up, got quite bullish, running back into double top territory and those highs. Untradeable for me yesterday. I mean, it did kick in later on and dance its merry way, and maybe gave some opportunities for people, but as I said, it just went too early yesterday. It was already pushing up. By the time it got to 2 o'clock, it already hit double tops in that territory, and of course we had news events happening. So untradeable day for me on oil, but it looks like it might be another one today. It's already started pushing up again. Running far too early for my liking at the moment. So that leaves us to have a quick look at Bitcoin now. Of course, there was more chatter about Bitcoin at stages yesterday, and we've seen come out to the dailies here, and we've seen, well, just a little bit more continuation, but then that's given it back, and it doesn't look like it's strong enough to hold on to too much here. So I can't be overly bullish on that yet. There was I can't remember what the good news was now. There was good news out, and it's just kicked the good news in the mouth, basically. Ethereum's also rolled over and is rolling over this morning, and Ripple, that too, has rolled over yesterday and rolling over again at the moment. So, and of course the old dog, or Doge, which whatever you want to call it, is a bit of a dog at the moment and is also rolling over. Right, that's it for me. I wish you a great weekend. Be careful today. Sometimes you're better off not trading, and just wishing you were trading than trading and wishing you weren't trading. Have a great one, and I'll speak to you on Monday. Bye for now. Oh, sorry, just one last question, Paul. Sorry, do I ever look at the US dollar versus the South African dollar or the Turkish euro, Turkish lira? No. Massive volatility, the huge risk. If you look at the risks, the spreads and everything, the monetary returns on them, the excitement is massive. But we don't trade to be excited, we trade to make money, and neither of those pairs would. I mean, I didn't even like that much the pound yen and these other currencies recently. I mean, but until more recently, when they seem to be a bit more settled, going for these sort of outliers which have huge intraday movements, huge spreads, and huge risk. We're risk managers, so I'd rather control the risk and take the lower risk options. So there you go, there's the answer to that one. Have a great day, catch you later.